So the second Killer In beta just ended, and after playing both betas, the game has a lot of potential. It could potentially be the best social structure game out there, but it has a few issues. So I'm going to talk about what is really good with the game, what's bad about the game, and how I think we could go about fixing those issues. So the first thing to talk about is I'd say the overall pace of the game. It feels quite good with the amount of players they have, because it doesn't take overly long for the amount of players, and it isn't over too quickly. Some games can be rather fast on different circumstances, but that's the same with any game, you can have quick games. So when looking at it, players can die relatively quickly after about the first 2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes depending on how good your beginning tasks are. But the issue is, with time to kill being so quick, and there being a lot of times when your animation locks, such as opening a chest, completing a task, especially the one where you need to find the right symbols in the right pattern, you can be in that animation and to even get out of it takes like a second. And if someone can kill you in one button click, or even with some melee weapons, just spam melee you with the stun club, which is its own issue we'll get into in a minute, there's nothing you can really do in terms of counterplay besides just not doing tasks, so not really earning money at that point in the game, which is a bit problematic considering you don't know who's good and who's bad, which means everyone has to group together to kind of proceed, which is very unlikely with that many people. So there needs to be a way to get out of animations quicker. Maybe having an option in settings where if you click WASD at any point during any animation lock thing, meaning if you're in a vendor, you're doing one of these tasks, you're opening a chest, it immediately cancels your action. So say you're putting in the little gemstones into the chest, you put 2 in, the 3 for the gun chest, and you press S, you'll immediately get off of that. The 2 will stay in there, which means someone could then rob it and put 1 in and get a gun, but obviously then that's the risk you're taking by cancelling it because you're suspicious of someone. So that, I think, is a good way to kind of circumvent these animation locks, because there's been times where someone pops up behind me and they start hitting me and I'm just dying because I just kind of have to sit there and take it because I'm in the middle of an animation. So next to go on to, we'll talk about the club, because it's clearly a big issue in kind of the meta of the game where people get a stun club and start hitting people. It kills way too quick considering it's stun. I don't think this weapon should actually stun at all. I think at worst it should slow. At best, sorry, it should slow. When it hits someone, they should have like the 2-second slow or 0.2 second slow rather than full on stun, so then at least they can retaliate, or their speed character try and get away, but then they're slow so they won't get too far, which is then the counterplay to this, meaning also taking other types of clubs would be good. Then the axe, in comparison, being quite bad, that's because of damage numbers. I think both melee weapons should probably do the axe's amount of damage, rather than buffing the axe to do the club's damage. You just die way too quick to that, and I don't think that's good. Then with melee weapons, the other issue is consistency. There's maybe a ping issue, but we've had times where when hitting people, you hit them, it makes the noise that you've hit them, they're blatantly right in front of you, but the hit doesn't count, especially with the stun weapon. Then they swing back and you get stunned, and stunned. There needs to be some kind of level of if we're making melee weapons lower in damage, we want to make them more consistent so they feel good to use still. And I think that's the kind of direction melee weapons need to go. A bit of a nerf in damage and overall power of them, because you can also do objectives insanely quick with how they are. Even the axe right now, you can do the objective pretty quick, but they shouldn't kill people instantly. I think they should have this bit lower damage. I think guns overall feel pretty decent, but the sniper one-shotting to the head even with a helmet, unless you buy that certain upgrade, I think it's a little much. I think the sniper to the head should do a lot of damage, maybe ranging it around potentially 300, because I think that's the amount of health you get when you're level 4, meaning if you get to level 5, snipers no longer one-shot you to the head with a helmet, which is the benefit of going for quite a high level in terms of if you didn't know the leveling system, it makes you get more HP as you level up. So I think that could be a pretty good change to that one. The other weapons overall, I do kind of like where they're at, but I do want to test with it further. The pistol, the shotgun, and the sniper feel pretty good. The SMG does kind of suck. That needs some kind of tweaks to it to make it feel a little better. I don't exactly know the answer to this one, because without making it just feel more similar to something else. But the SMG does you get it, and it kind of just doesn't feel good compared to the other ones. Now another issue, so between the first and second beta, the first issue, the safe zones were just hot zones for death. In this one, they're the complete opposite, where they make it so the flow of gameplay just kind of ceases, which in many cases is an issue. In some cases it's nice, but there's been many cases where you know someone's evil, like they swing at you or you've discovered they're evil, then they run into a safe zone and you just gonna have to wait there with them, just kind of standing there looking at them for 30 seconds, just kind of waiting. And in the case of the wolves, this is a huge advantage for them over the lambs, because as soon as you step out of the safe zone and you go at each other, it's more likely a wolf is going to see you there and join in to help. Because if a lamb sees you guys fighting, they'd likely want to wait till the fight's over to know which one they want to kill, because if they just go and swing them randomly, they'll die. Which again, another issue we'll get into in a second. When the safe zone happens though, it's just kind of is death. I think they should lower it from 30 seconds to like 10 seconds, just so like they don't have as much time to react. You kind of want to go in there, you have enough time to buy, maybe use one medkit, then you've got to leave and do something. I think that would feel better. And I think even if they want to keep those 10 seconds, I think another thing you could do, if you kill someone in a safe zone, I think that person should immediately, like if the staff sees the kill, so say you're both in the safe zone, time is out, and you kill the person, the staff should immediately just tell everyone this person's evil. So you don't want to kill someone in a safe zone unless you're willing to just be like, I'm going all out, killing everyone, or it's the end of the game. I think the punishment should be more severe for that, and that's why they feel more safe, because you're like, if they want to kill me here, they are outing themselves to everyone. Everyone would immediately be told so-and-so's a wolf, they killed in front of manager, and everyone being like, okay, let's react on that. And I think this will help a lot, because one of the issues I was talking about a minute ago is the way the retaliation system works now is pretty good. When like someone hits you and you fight back, you can kill them. The only issue with it is they actually need to hit you for this to trigger, and there's too many situations where someone could be very menacing, following you, waiting for the right opportunity to kill you, and you know that like they're most likely evil because they're just kind of following you menacingly. But some innocents will do this to kind of troll, or like maybe they just don't know and they're just following you just to like, because they're suspicious of you. But you don't know if they're suspicious of you or wolf, and there's actually nothing as an innocent you can do in that case without just risking killing yourself due to retaliation not activating. Some people can even shoot in your direction. They can like shoot near you to try and get you to hit them first, and then you're not retaliating because they never hit you. So you kind of have to wait until they hit you first. Which, imagine for example they have this club that stuns, they hit you, then you're stun locked and it's too late. Or the poison revolver, they shoot you in the head once, you're low and you die to poison then, and there was nothing you could really do beforehand, because if you attacked first, they could have been innocent, and then you just got baited. And it's like, there may be something where retaliation can trigger under different circumstances as well. Potentially, like if someone swings near you or shoots near you, it will still activate, just so they can be less menacing. But it's something to mess around with and adjust. But I do think having the retaliation system full stop was definitely a really good change for the game. Another thing with the retaliation they need to change is that I've had a situation before where me and my friend are innocent, and he grapples the evil, so it means I can try to kill them because we know it's them. And I swing to hit, I hit both players, and I die. I've killed the evil, but then I've killed myself, and it's just left my friend on 1 HP because you don't kill the other innocent. And I'm getting punished there for killing the evil and helping with it. In that situation, there's no real way for me to help without dying, because they're right next to each other. He's holding them for me, so the evil doesn't just kill both of us. So there needs to be something where, like, if you hit an evil, then you don't get the penalty for killing others for like a second or something. It shouldn't be like 5 seconds, otherwise people just kill an evil and then just shoot a bunch of people around them. But maybe like a second, half a second or something, just so when you're hitting the evil, you aren't just penalised because you also hit an innocent. Like, it feels a bit odd. Same with evils, you shouldn't get betrayal because you hit an innocent and an evil at the same time because they were holding them. That should be like, I'm holding them, you're gonna hit both of us. This is like the intended plan, like I'm gonna take the damage and then heal. You're gonna kill this guy first because we know he's low now. I think that's how that should play. Group play can sometimes be an issue because in most social deduction games, if I die and I just tell my friends in my party, so and so's evil, that's teaming and that's bannable. But it's odd, in this game, it kind of feels like that's intended, and it's unclear whether it is or not, because when you're in a party, you see everyone's health, you see everyone through walls, so you can very easily tell who killed your friend, and you inherently will trust them. There's no chance of, I suspect you. I don't know if parties should always be on the same team or not. If they want to keep that, what I think they need to do is, when you kill someone, next to where at the bottom it shows you killed X person, there should be a little person icon, and then a number. And that number will show how many people in that person's party are still alive. So if it shows person 1, you know there's one other member in their party alive, so they would have told one other person that you're evil. Then at least in that case you can kind of react to being like, okay, I know I have at least one person after me now. Compared to C0, you're like, okay, clean, I'm safe. But I think that's the kind of way to handle this most effectively. Kind of giving the evil some warning that you now have a target in your back from this many people. So if you see 3, you know you need to either go into hiding or get quite aggressive. And that's kind of just how it is. When an innocent kills an evil, this number maybe shouldn't appear because then you just tell them how many in that party are wolves with them. But it's something they need to look at because it's just you kill someone, then you just get randomly like killed by someone 10 seconds later who knew it was you, even though you were never ID'd. So it would be nice to know that like, oh, I have 2 or 3 people chasing me now because of this. I would like a look at some of the perks. Some of them need tweaking because some I think are a little bit too strong. Like Gamer Rage, I think it's a little bit too strong, where every time you get hit, it's kind of massive benefits. There should be a cooldown to that, I think, because there's times where like, especially if you're using the SMG, you shoot them once, you've just signed a death penalty on yourself because this person's now going to come at you insanely fast and do 50% more damage. Like, what? You just kind of die, all because you had an SMG compared to any other weapon. And if you use a melee weapon that isn't the stun club, or you get this kind of like no reg hit, then this person kind of just zooms away and like you got no chance of catching them. I think this number needs to be changed, at least the time, because 10 seconds is also insanely long for this with no cooldown. But overall, I do think the game's in a pretty good spot, and it could be the best one out there, but it's not quite there yet. But it might be in the next playtest. There's like a lot of little things they need to tweak to fix this, but the game as a core, I don't think has any like huge issues. There's a few things that are like kind of not sure for Innocence, where it's like if they rush the objectives, does that really help them because they all just had less time to get money? And then they're all stuck in these long animations of winding up the thing where they can just be killed. So it's like, I don't know if rushing the objectives actually really helps Innocence that much versus just letting everyone get as prepped as possible and then, you know, doing it, especially because the evils also get the money and stuff from doing the objectives. So, just kind of thinking how that works. Maybe there needs to be a bigger benefit for evils if Innocence like let the time run out rather than doing the keys. Because if there is one, don't really know what that is, even though it happened a number of times. And yeah, when it comes to the vendors, I do like how they all have different price points for things and different abilities when you hold 2. But one of the abilities, being tracked, that needs to get changed. Like when you track someone, that person needs to be told you're being tracked. Not by who, not from where, but just a notification saying you are currently being tracked. Because tracking someone is incredibly strong. And I think you should just be told you're being tracked. So you know to be like, okay, I need to start playing defensively here. People are after me. And I think that would be good. And I think with these changes, the ones I've suggested, I think the game would be like a lot better. But obviously some things, like, we test them and the change will come in and maybe it just sucks. But I think this is the direction the game kind of needs to go. Keeping the fast pace. Removing these kind of random halts but time to kill needs to get slightly longer. So the pace keeps the same, but it isn't just like instant death, because you just die. Because things like the knife and the gas, they are instant kills, but a net guard prevents the knife, and it's only 75 gold, which isn't like too much, so you can get it pretty early on, or pretty easily from a purple chest. So I think that's fine. With the blackout vapor, considering you get 3 of them and you can do it from front or back against someone, I wouldn't mind a change. I think this one we need to wait off and just kind of see how things go, because people are beginning to counter the blackout vapor more. But something like the blackout vapor knocks someone out for 30 seconds after using it. And maybe from a manager or something, or the bartender, you can buy an item for like 150 gold that lets you like get these knocked out people back up. It wakes them up again. So it's like, but you've got to get there within those 20-30 seconds of them getting knocked out, just to make the item a little weaker. And if you want to save someone, you are paying a lot of money for that. So then I think it would add a bit more counterplay to this really strong item. I think that's it that I wanted to go through in this video. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on this. I know it's a little bit of just a talking video, but I think I want this game to do well. I want it to succeed and I want to enjoy it. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.